like a copy of the Daily Evergreen?
Would you like a copy of the Daily Evergreen?
Every day, students at Washington State University are providing the area with coverage of the region's most important topics. With a circulation of over 11,000 papers a day, the community relies on the information provided by the staff of the Daily Evergreen. But putting together a daily newspaper isn't easy.
Typically I wake up at about 8 a.m. and I've got numerous texts from reporters and editors and my managing editor, because inevitably something has gone wrong the night before or a story has fallen through that morning or something. So the first part of my day is normally I make coffee and then I start brainstorming with my managing editor.
You spend your day kind of coaching the writers. Writers will be going out, doing their interviews, getting their stories done.
Each section editor is able to determine their own deadlines as long as all content is in for the entire paper by 2 p.m. every day.
At that point, the copy editor can look over it and make any edits that they see fit.
I get them and I read through them again and I correct for grammar, making sure there's no really factual errors. And I also check for AP style, so making sure everything's in the correct format.
It'll go for a second read and then a third read. Copy editors give it a look. The section editors will lay it out on the page.
So by the time it lands on the page in the computer, it has been read 3 times.
Once the final copy is pulled, we print it off a whole bunch of times so that everybody and their mother can look at it.
Once that's done, we do what's called exporting, which is something that you do in the layout software that we use, and then we send it to our printer, which is Lewiston Tribune, and they print it down in Lewiston.
And then depending on if all the writers got all their copy in on time, depending on if the photos came in on time, depending on all these things, it should all be done by early evening, later evening.
Usually what happens is it's a little bit of a roller coaster. When you walk in at 4 p.m., people are usually in good spirits. That means they're done with their classes, they're ready to put together the paper.
We all walk in here at the beginning of the day.
It's kind of quiet, everyone's working, and then there's a period of time where we all start talking and goofing off.
Joking around, going around the newsroom, jumping around. There's like a ball that I kick around for like hours.
And then when deadline comes, then that's when things get more serious. And you can kind of feel the more tension and people are more serious about actually getting things done.
And then towards the end of the day, of course, we have to finish with the paper and get more serious about things.
Emotions are high and things start to quiet down because everyone's sort of stressing out and thinking like, oh my God, we can't miss deadline, we can't miss deadline.
It has to be to the Lewiston Tribune by 10:30 p.m. And if it's not, it's a problem.
It's not good.
My first thought is, crap, Candace is going to be pissed, which is always a fun conversation to have.
We know we're going to get yelled at by Candace if we miss deadline.
Oh God, what is Candace gonna say?
It's an ugly email for me first thing in the morning, and it's just, we try to avoid that.
Internally, there's a lot of screaming going on, but outwardly, again, you try to keep a calm face. Nobody's going to work better if you're yelling at them. So while I might be emotionally traumatized by how close we're getting to the deadline, I try not to let that show. I mean, you can call it kind of too, but...
Working in a newsroom with a tight deadline enables the staff of the Evergreen to be battle-tested with a real-world view of how a professional newspaper is run.
The ability and the confidence to tackle stories on deadline, that's something that is really hard to replicate outside of an actual functioning newsroom. And that they have to do that on a daily basis. That paper goes out every single day, whether they're ready for it or not.
I think the biggest thing is experience. You get the experience of being here, knowing how a paper is run, how it's written, how you get it out onto print. I think that's really cool.
The Daily Evergreen, it really prepares people for real world life and real world professional publications. There's a lot of things that the Daily Evergreen teaches its staff members that you can't necessarily get from an assignment in class.
Your teacher doesn't call you at 4 o'clock in the morning and tell you that the apartment building down the street from yours is on fire. That's just not something that really happens to you in class. It does happen at the Evergreen. You really get to experience what it is to actually have a deadline for something that's actually going to go into, straight into a print product. You also get the sense of working for an editor, not a teacher, someone who's not going to grade you, and who honestly wants to help you improve. It kind of gives you more of a sense of self-accountability.
Professional experience in an industry that they know that they want to go into.
The professional environment that the Evergreen produces is due in part to a shifting change in the culture within the newspaper, which can be traced to the editors of the years past, making a positive impact on the paper.
It's sort of become this much more professional environment, and it's become this environment where we're constantly pushing ourselves, and we're never sort of settling with, oh, we're a college paper, or we can do this, we don't have to try as hard. And one of the sort of physical representations of that is these awards that we've been getting.
4 years ago, we had colored boxes around stories, like little pink polka dot boxes around stories. We've obviously come a long way since then in terms of writing and in terms of design and layout, content overall.
They're taking national honors that they didn't win 3 years ago. They would occasionally make a placement somewhere, but in the last 2 years, they have taken 15 national honors, which is more than all other years combined for the Daily Evergreen.
It's so hard to remember that people see this, like that aren't just in Pullman or Moscow, that people on a greater level see it. So it makes us feel accomplished, but in the bigger scale, not just, you know, oh, I'm so glad I put out a paper, but more like, I can't believe something that I helped created got national recognition.
It's been pretty cool to see it progressing, and I think the awards are really a testament to how far the paper has come over the course of the last couple years.
The fast-paced work and the long nights would spell disaster for most students, but those at the Evergreen thrive on the pressure and have grown much closer because of it.
We get along, we all get along really well. We hang out outside the newsroom.
We could go like to the Coug every Sunday to get corn dogs. We went to the Coug for Evan's 21st birthday. We all have inside jokes, and we're always like on Facebook and like messaging each other, and I don't know, we just all talk all the time, and it's pretty fun.
The relationship grows rather quickly because, I mean, you're spending basically every night, Monday through Thursday, Sunday through Thursday, in this newsroom with the same people, and you guys end up knowing each other's like favorite food, what they're allergic to, the best birthday present they've ever gotten.
When I started working here, the opinion editor at the time, her name is Callie Hare, almost as a testament to how sort of closely people get bonded here. We did end up dating and are currently dating.
Like, you don't dread coming to work. You want to be here and to be hanging out with people that you're friends with.
We choose to hang out together even when we're not in the newsroom. We're all like, it's a good way to meet people who are all nerdy about all the same things that you are.
It's always a happy kind of part of the day.
Every good thing that's happened to me has been directly related to the Daily Evergreen. So
that's, I think, the best part, that we all get along really well and we all have fun together.
No matter how many hours they spend or how many pages they write, the staff of the Evergreen always strive to produce essential news to their community and have a little fun in the process.
Gonna miss it. I want to graduate.
I'm on Facebook, I'm on BuzzFeed a lot.
What are some?
Oh God. Okay. Funniest moment. Okay.